Hi everybody. I'm creating a different sort of video today to just share with you some resources, give you some recommendations for a specific topic. If this seems to be helpful, I'm more than happy to do more of these. I have a massive collection of children's books, books related to counseling, books related to social and emotional well-being, applicable in the classroom, in a school counseling environment, in a private counseling environment. I have so many resources, so many books. I am a huge bibliophile, but I also know that the value of picture books and of books that can become a template or a foundation for really good, healthy communication is always a great thing to have around. So today, I'm going to share with you some resources that I use for grief counseling. I've used all of these in different contexts before, so I can recommend them as being valuable in a real life situation as well, not just because they look like cool books, but because they really were a valuable resource in a moment where I was counseling a child, or even sometimes groups of children or families of siblings regarding their response to a surprising or unexpected death, or perhaps one that was long anticipated. So these are the books that I'm recommending. All of them I actually am more than happy to tell you more about, but this is just going to be a brief little collective of all these different resources. Okay, just a summary. All right, the first one I want to share with you is called I'll Always Remember. It's by Kayla Marnoch. I believe I pronounced that correctly. This one has a lot of talking points to read together with a child, but then it also has a great deal of resources through a parent guide. So this is an excellent thing to have on hand, whether you have experienced grief in your family or not, whether you are working with children currently on grief or not. It's a great resource to have in your toolbox because then you can use it as soon as you need it, because things happen and none of us is assured not having difficult things come up in our future. So excellent resource. I'll always remember. Again, great reading narrative to read with children, great resources for parents to read on their own. All right, a classic, The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. You may have heard about this book or remember reading this book back in the 80s or 90s. It's by Leo Buscaglia. Excellent, 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 very simple, kind and calm story of a leaf going through natural changes and reaching his inevitable end as leaves do, but just a beautiful resource for giving a poetic, lens to death so that children, very young children all the way up to adults, can access the feelings and the emotions connected with grief. So excellent resource there, The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. Does not mention humans, does not mention animals, but is, again, an amazing metaphor and very helpful to starting those conversations. The next book is called Lifetimes. It's by Brian Maloney and Robert Ingpen. This has been probably my most used resource in counseling. It really just talks about life cycles. It talks about animals, plants, everything you can imagine in between, going from birth, a lifetime, and death. Fruit, vegetables, all sorts of things. It talks a lot about the memories, the relics, the pieces that are left behind and how they help us to hold on to the beautiful memories of that lifetime. Very nature focused, very holistic, just a gorgeous and really wonderful, again, sort of poetic perspective on death and lifetimes. Does not mention humans only. It's really just about lifetimes in general. So a great resource if you're looking at the struggles that children have in processing the death of a pet. Sometimes it's even hard for children to process the death of something a little less animated, a plant, or the loss of something that they really care about that was living, that is no longer living. Lifetimes will help them to grasp and work through that as well. The Endless Story is also a wonderful resource. It's by Melissa Kirchner, or Kircher, my mistake. Again, just a wonderful summation of what is death, what are the memories that we can pull from in order to process death. It talks a lot about how cultures respond to death, some of the different ways that various communities honor those who have passed. It talks a lot about just the natural feelings that come with grief and normalizing that and honoring the child's experience with death. Excellent resource, The Endless Story. I just love all these resources. They have been powerful in my life, in my work, professionally and personally. The Memory Box is by Joanna Rowland. Also a wonderful resource that really gives some concrete perspectives on what to do with children to help them to work through and to begin to carry in a healthy way some of the experiences they may be having after the death of a loved one. It also gives them guidance on creating something that they can come back to again and again. As you may guess, it's called a memory box, and it's something that I hope you will follow through in creating with a child if you do read this book with them, because it is something that can be really wonderful. So again, these are great resources, one and all. I have used all of them, have appreciated them working together and in small groups, in individual therapy of all different ages. A great book, a great resource I also want to share with you as part of this awesome series of therapeutic books. They have a bunch of different illustrations and activities that children can do as they go through difficult seasons in their life. There's one about divorce, there's one about family changes, parents getting remarried, and so on and so forth. This one is about working through when someone is very, very sick. Someone who has a very serious illness, perhaps is dealing with a really difficult prognosis, maybe in hospice or going through the process of preparing for death. This is an excellent complement to these other resources because it begins to allow children and adolescents to begin to cope, begin to wrap their head around and develop some really healthy tools for processing death before it happens. So again, this is called When Someone Has a Very Serious Illness, part of an amazing series of workbooks. This one is written by Marge Heegard. I have had this resource for so long, I honestly am not 100% sure where you can still find it, but I am more than happy to do that research with you and alongside you. So excellent resource. I do copy the pages so that I can keep my original workbook fresh and reusable. So these are excellent resources, highly recommended by me, not only as an educator and not only as a licensed therapist, but also as a parent, as a human being, as someone who has walked with children through some very difficult things. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Here in the Mayflowers office, I always have these resources available for my clients, but if you are interested in learning more about how you can address these difficult, challenging situations, I am more than happy to speak with you in any capacity that is most helpful. So reach out. We'll figure something out, even if you don't live locally. So, all right, that's all from me. I hope that these resources are helpful, and I appreciate you listening in. Okay, bye.